Hello. Our topic today is language, and more specifically, how it evolves. This came about because I was listening to the radio in the car a few weeks ago, and the presenter said, "Swipe left." That's SWIPE, left, when he was talking about something or other, and I wondered what he meant. So when I got home, I googled it. I almost wish I hadn't, as it sent me on something of a voyage of discovery into things I never knew existed. Swipe left is a term used to mean reject or dismiss an idea, an unthinkable idea. But why? Well, my search led me to information on something called Tinder. I hope my wife doesn't browse my internet history, because Tinder, if you didn't know, is like an online dating app that is used through Facebook. Users can look at photos of people nearby that they may wish to meet or communicate with, eventually meet up with. The swipe left phrase is what you do on your phone when you don't like the photo that Tinder suggests. So you swipe it away, you dismiss that person and move on to the next one. By contrast, swipe right is what you do if you are interested in the person that Tinder shows you, and you can see more photos and some more information about them. What this little tale tells us is that the action of swiping your mobile phone screen to move away from someone you don't like the look of, it's become a phrase used to describe any bad idea that you wish to reject. It's a good example of how language evolves from, in this case, a physical action to a new, if related, meaning. Perhaps I'm a little behind the times here. Tinder has been around for a couple of years at least now. Technology, fairly obviously, provides a huge amount of new words and phrases. As time passes, some of these relatively new words and phrases move out of fashion, or at least take on different connotations. A connotation is the positive or negative association that we have with different words. Take, for example, the word slim. If we refer to someone as being slim, we are referring to that person's body in a positive way. Slim has a positive connotation, therefore. If, however, we say they are skinny, that has a negative connotation. In technology, some years ago, the prefix cyber was very common, as in cyberspace. Nowadays, however, cyber has taken on a more negative connotation. It tends to be used in phrases which suggest something bad, like cyber terrorism, cyberbullying, or cyber attack. It's fairly uncommon nowadays to hear people talk about the internet or the web. Nobody ever says the World Wide Web. The tendency is towards using online instead. The ubiquitous use of mobile phones is also changing how we speak. People will more often than not refer to checking their phone rather than checking online because they are using their phone to check. Another good example is the verb to Google, as in I'll Google it, instead of I'll search online for it. Similarly, you will often hear, or maybe say yourself, I'll Facebook you. The idea of making nouns into verbs is not uncommon. People have used brand names as verbs for many years. The vacuum cleaner Hoover is often used as a verb to hoover. Or the photocopier manufacturer Xerox is, or maybe used to be used even, as a verb to photocopy. I'll Xerox it. Besides the verb to Facebook and such like, we also now have job titles. People actually make a living as YouTubers. My kids will spend hours, if I let them, which I don't, I hasten to add, but they will if given the chance. They'll spend hours watching Minecraft videos made by someone called Stampy, or another chap called Ballistic Squid. Who would have thought 20 or 30 years ago that you could make a living from posting videos, and these guys make quite a lot of money from playing video games and uploading the commentary of them playing the game to YouTube? Has the world gone mad? The word YouTuber has recently been added to the Oxford English Dictionary. This dictionary adds words every year to its dictionary. Recent updates include Cat Cafe, which is a cafe where people pay money to interact with animals, usually cats. Beer o'clock and wine o'clock, which, as you might have guessed, are appropriate times to start drinking alcohol. And my favourite, which is manspreading. This is a common phenomenon where men sitting on public transport with their legs so wide apart that the person or people on the left or the right have very little space for their own legs. For every change and fashionable use of language, there are those people who prefer a more traditional and what they perceive as correct language use. Some people, I have colleagues I work with who might be one of them, could be considered grammar nerds, and some of these people are proud of their nerd status. These people despise what they think of as lazy speech and lazy writing. Through the ubiquity of text speech such as lol and OMG. More than that though, they hate the misplaced apostrophe, the misuse of who and whom, the absence of a comma, and fair point, I think. Consider the sentence, which I can't show you as I'm speaking, but you should be able to hear the difference. It's a short sentence, just 3 words. Let's eat Grandma, said without a comma, and let's eat Grandma, said with a comma. The former suggests cannibalism, actually eating your grandmother. The second suggests that Grandma joins us to eat lunch. So what can we conclude from all of this? Well, not a lot really. Language changes over time. Words and phrases come into and out of fashion, often helped by the brands and the products that we use. Some people resist these changes. That doesn't mean they're bad people necessarily. Change happens. We can't do too much about it. Thank you very much.